with it?
Man, what's up, man? Another week, another episode of the Fight Session Podcast. Y'all already know what time it is. I got my guy, Benji Banks, the man, the brand, with me.
What's happening? What's going on, my man?
I got a shirt on that says Focus Women Taste Better. I guess that's the case. You know what I'm saying? So women, if y'all want to taste better, you better make sure you focus.
Get your focus on. You know what I'm saying? Then you can't be out there dibbling and dabbling and rimmling and rambling. You know what I'm saying? Throw your pH balance off. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
I'm just saying.
Wow. Well, y'all already know what you're in for. Y'all already know we come here and we like to have fun. We like to, turn up a little bit, and we like to.
Sup, baby? Take me out to dinner.
You know how we. But y'all already know we got another dope guest joining us this week. This brother has put in a lot of work, literature. You know what I'm saying? Another author. We had one author already this season, and we wanted to bring him on because I feel like in the Black community that reading is not pushed enough, and this guy has come up with some great pieces of work that can get these children interested in reading some things and get more into literature and maybe possibly writing. So we wanted to bring him on to kind of put some stuff out there in the atmosphere so y'all can understand that it's still necessary to read, because quite honestly, some of y'all that read and write on Facebook don't do it so well. The education system has failed you.
Listen, you can't get all your knowledge from memes, man. Come on.
So we wanted to bring something else so you can help your children so they don't fall in that same category with you. So today we got Mr. Jacob Grovey joining us. He's our special guest.
Mr. Grovey.
Welcome to the show, sir.
Man, what's going on? Y'all boys wilding early in the episode.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? We got to stir the pot a little bit first. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? Give them something. You know what I'm saying? Strike a mighty blow. And then, proceed with the regular proceedings. You know what I mean? So that's what we're here to do.
Well, man, like I said, man, y'all already know. Y'all tuned into the show before. Y'all know we like to have fun, and we have great guests on, and we have great topics that we talk about. But Jacob is somebody who's rare. You know what I'm saying? From what I've come across, and when you look at a young Black writer, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Writes children literature. So we're going to learn a little bit more about that today. Y'all already know we got tons of crazy questions and off the wall, left field type of stuff we're going to ask him. So y'all just jump in the comments if y'all got questions, anything like that. Also in the comments, I've already put his links in there. So if you go to the comment, the links to his sites are in there. So we'll talk about those eventually more as the show goes on. But I wanted to put those out there just in case people had questions of who he is. You can go there as well after the show, of course, not right now, because you tuned in and you got to get this information. So Jacob, kind of tell us where you're from, man. What city you from, what set you claim, whatever,
what set you claim? Throw it up right now. Where you from, cuz?
Whatever you want to tell us, man.
I am forever representing Oak Cliff, even though I haven't been home in a minute.
Oak Cliff, all right.
Yeah, but I'm
back home down south.
Absolutely. So Oak Cliff forever. But just a Dallas dude, just trying to write and get my work out there, let kids from where we from know what you can accomplish, because we tend to limit ourselves, and kids will think they can only do certain things if they from certain areas, but I'm trying to break that.
Okay,
so what made you have like this interest in writing coming from Oak Cliff? Or most people say, you didn't grow up in that culture, I would guess. You know what I mean? What made you? Was it a parent, or was it something like that? What made you get into the writing aspect? What sparked that trigger?
So honestly, the story that I kind of put out there to everybody, in third grade, I had a teacher that kind of challenged us. She was teaching us about poetry and all kinds of writing in general, but poetry. And then so she kind of challenged us to write a rap verse. And so that kind of sparked everything. And so kind of a side note, we don't really understand how important it is as Black students to actually have Black educators.
Okay.
So in third grade, Miss Armstrong, one of my favorite teachers ever, like she forever changed my life. And so it's incredibly important. But yeah, she's the reason why I got into writing.
All right. That's dope. That's dope.
So hold on though. You said so your first foray into writing like that was, you know what I'm saying, you trying to write some bars.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me you started out as a rapper? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
I mean, yeah, little third grade rapper, yeah.
Okay, so you had some bars, but then they went away and they turned into different bars, into writing bars.
Nah, they're still there.
Oh, so you can.
So you write bars too? I mean, being in poetry, you gotta assume that, right? Because it opens up your mind, it opens up your understanding, introduces you to new topics, new ideologies, things of that nature. So I'm sure as a writer, does journalism come in there in any way when you're writing? Do you consider it like that or no?
Not really for me. But what I don't like is when writers of certain topics or forms tend to look down at other writers. I hate that with a passion. Okay. Like I don't care what you write, you're a writer. If you write, you're right.
Right.
Okay, so since I write posts every day on Facebook, so technically I'm a writer.
You're a writer.
You're a writer. Well, you're a struggling journalist, huh?
Well, quiet is kept in my professional life. I am a writer. I do write contracts every day. I write and negotiate contracts. So I actually do write. So I understand some of the aspects of, you know, what it might take to write the way you all write, even though it's a different, formula to what I do, but still writing that much, you know what I'm saying, on a daily basis for a living. I kind of have an idea of, you know, when writers say, well, we'll talk about it too. When writers talk about they have writer's block, I'm like, yeah, been there, you know what I'm saying, trying to come up with some verbiage or some wording to make some things happen. But, you know, I mean, that's just me. We ain't gonna talk about me. We're here to talk about Jacob. So, Jacob, let's talk about this, man. What college did you go to? Did you go to college? And if you went to college, tell us where you went to college, what your major was. Let's talk about that.
So I went to the Florida A&M University.
Florida A&M, okay. Yeah. FAMU, okay.
Yeah. I actually didn't go there for anything connected to writing at all. I went there for computer science.
Okay.
And when I got there, started getting into coding and everything, I was like, yeah, this is not for me. Coding is not for me. Shouts out to everybody that does it though, but nah.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Help us. What is coding? What like?
Hold on. Before we get into that, let's point out this thing again. Go back and look at some of our other episodes, people, and you will see that our other guests have similar stories where they went to school for something and that's not what they're actually doing. So encourage these kids. Sometimes you get to a point where you figure out this is not what I'm passionate about, but that doesn't mean you're at a total loss. That just means that you need to shift gears or pivot and do something different. Your opportunities are still there.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? I just want to point that out every time we hear that story because we hear it a lot. And I think people, when they get to that point, they feel like it's a total loss, but it's not. We learn from it. You know what I'm saying?
No, because like you honestly can't expect you to know what you want to do for the rest of your life at 18, 19 years old.
That's very true. That's very true. So it's a filling out process again, right? Yeah. And that's usually, again, Ken stressed that's usually what we hear all the time. I remember one of our guests, shout out to Purvis Taylor, his intentions weren't to go to the college he ended up graduating for. He ended up going to the University of Miami. So we get it. We understand it. What when you made that shift though, what made you come to that conclusion? Like, you know what, this ain't for me. Let me find something else to do.
So the whole thing when I was there, it's not like I ever had a passion for I'm into technology. That's one thing, but I never really had a passion for coding. I just knew, hey, if I get into this and I'm successful, I can make a lot of money.
Right.
So I was really just chasing money instead of chasing passion. And then I got to a point where I said, yeah, I mean, this is not going to work for me. So what is it that I actually like to do? And so writing has always been there. And whenever I tried to push it to the background, it was like, nah, bro, I'm here. So I always have to start back writing, no matter how much I tried to quit.
Right.
Okay. And to go back to what Benji was saying with the coding, you know what I'm saying? For the people that don't understand, the coding is the basis of your programming language. Anything that you have as electronic has some type of coding in it.
Right.
The reason why I know that because I went to Science and Engineering Magnet at Townview Center, and we were forced to take coding classes in high school. We took coding classes in high school, so they kind of exposed us to it in the 90s at the very, kind of like at the beginning of a lot of this technology. So and I totally understand you, Jacob, because I was one of those people. I graduated high school, went to Prairie View A&M, and was in architecture program for 2 whole years before I figured out, you know what, this ain't for me. Ain't for me. Like, I want to make this money, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't difficult. Like, I had a skill at it, but I didn't want to get up in the morning and do it. I didn't feel like I was passionate about it. So I had to figure out, what am I passionate about? And what I figured out at that point was I was more passionate about teaching and educating and coaching. So that's what I end up graduating with a degree in education and a minor in business, because I felt like I needed to pivot to, and that's what I did.
Yeah. Can I say something else about, going after what? So what we tend to do is like what we just talked about. You go after what you think can make a lot of money, right? Yeah. But what we don't realize is God gave us all something that we're passionate about.
Right.
And he gave us that for a reason. So the way that I feel, especially now, is whatever you're passionate about or whatever your talent is, if you don't pursue that, then you are disrespecting God. You are telling me.
I totally agree with that, because that's, you're operating outside of what your talents are, so to speak. If you've been given a specific amount of talent to go out in the world and operate with, you have to work with that. But I think many of us, again, you went back, you're 18, 19 years old, trying to find your way. And in that process, you get what I'm saying? Like, we may not know totally what the gift is. And some of us are scared of it. You get what I'm saying? Like, we're scared of what could possibly come of you operating in your total gift, so to speak. So I know that for sure happened. That hit me early on in life. And so I understand that part very much.
And going along with that too is when we were talking about being from certain areas, right? Mm-hmm. So when you're from anywhere that's considered the hood, and you have a talent or something that you want to go after, you also get to a point, a lot of us do, when you were talking about fear, is that we're like, who am I, a dude from Oak Cliff, where I don't know any writers? Who am I to think that I can actually become a writer?
Right.
Who am I to think that? So I question myself, question my abilities, and if I'm doing it, I know a lot of us are.
Right. Of course. Of course, especially at a young age, when you're trying to process it all, you don't understand it yourself. You may want to do it, but the encouragement might not necessarily be there coming from the hood or whatever it may be. So the challenges are there. So, I mean, kudos, though, for sticking with what your passion was, your talent was. That's dope. We got to shout out brothers like that that's sticking in their lane.
Thank you.
Yeah, and see what you said is a great point too, because kids often will drive toward what they see as attainable for them. So people ask all the time, well, why do young black men especially always say they want to be athletes? Because that's what they see. That's what the success that they see. So when I go do community service at schools and go to do career days, which I love doing, and have conversations with these kids, and you talk to them about doing something other than athletics, they just puzzled because they don't know any other avenue to get out.
Right.
So, when you explain to them that the average, athlete is not going to make it to the NFL number one. And if you do, your average career is 3 to 4 seasons. Yeah. So that puts you at 24, 25. And you're still looking for what you're going to do for the rest of your life.
Right. Especially if you've been taught that that's all you know. and I hate to put it in this aspect, but think of the kid who all he grew up around is drug dealing and all of these types of things. You know what I mean? That's what you see is what you gravitate to. And if you go out and try something else and you fail at it, first the hood telling you shouldn't have been doing that anyway. You get what I'm saying? And so you have this whole circus of a matter going on. So you really have to stick to your talent and know what you want to do. So that's commendable, like I said earlier, about being able to say, you know what, this is what I'm going to do, even though I may not have tons of support. I heard you mention the teacher earlier that kind of encouraged you as well.
Yeah. So, Miss Armstrong, third grade, Henderson Elementary. If it weren't for her, I mean, eventually I think I would have found my way to writing, but she definitely kickstarted it.
Right. That's dope.
Okay. So my thing is too is, you know, for kids out there that know that, you know, somebody like you exists, a black writer, you know what I'm saying? Somebody who looks like somebody that they know. You got a beard, you got a hat, you're young, you know what I'm saying? And that means something for them to see it, because I'm telling you, if I was a writer and I showed up at JJ Rose in South Dallas, shout out to JJ.
South Dallas, shout out South Dallas.
That's where I've done a lot of, you know, a community service and go there for their career days. And to say that I do anything that involves reading or writing, the kids say, why? Like, why do you want to have a job where you have to read and write all day? Because they're not interested in reading and writing right now, right? So they don't have that motivation. So the fact that they see somebody who does it for a living and I explain to them what I do, then you see that light bulb go on and over their head, like, oh, so you mean I can make money off my reading and writing? And then we explain to them how important, you know, literacy is and being able to read, because, you know, you have people like what's the football player's name? Dexter Manley. Was it Dexter Manley that had a contract and they messed him over because he couldn't read?
Right.
You know, all the way to the NFL and couldn't read, and you don't want to have those type of situations. But that's why, you know, people like Jacob is important, because like we gotta enforce the reading and the importance
aspect of it, right?
So Jacob, who were your writing influences? Like when you started writing, like what influenced you, or who influenced you?
Back in the day, I remember there was this book called Hoop Dreams by Walter Dean Myers. And I probably was in the fourth, fifth, sixth grade, something like that. And I used to just read that over and over and over and over again. So, I mean, I've always had a little collection of books growing up, but that one sticks out as one of the earliest ones that I continue to read.
Right. Hoop Dreams. He went way back on us with that one, though. So you're a lover of reading yourself, obviously, right? You're a lover of literature. What's your favorite piece of literature, so to speak, that besides Hoop Dreams? Give us your top three.
I can't really say I have a favorite. It changes all the time.
Right.
Now, I know, like right now, I'm trying to get through Manning Marable's biography of Malcolm X.
Okay.
I'm trying to get through that one. That's really on my list, but I can't really say that I have a top three or anything like that, because it changes. Like one week it could be the collection of poems from Langston Hughes, which I will go back through every once in a while. Somebody else that I learned about because of the same teacher in third grade.
Right.
But it really changes. So I don't have any favorites really.
So what kind of books do you like to read? Like, is there a certain genre? Because I know a lot of people like me. I have a big bookshelf here full of self-help books. That's my favorite, you know, category. So what category do you feel like you read more books in?
I like bios.
Okay.
But I do like a lot of fiction. Like I'll go back and look at books and especially if there's a movie of it and kind of compare it. I like doing that. Like Fight Club is one that I'll go back and like, okay, the movie did this and this. Even things like Forrest Gump, you know, how different the movie is than the book. So I'll go back and do that. But I really like bios.
Right. Is it the true stories in the bios that really capture you? I know that's for me because I'm a bio type person. Even if I'm watching a movie or reading a book, I'd rather read something that I know is kind of factual that I can't tear down in the beginning and figure out. But being in with biopics, like it's giving you facts, it's giving you a true story about a person. Is that what captures you when you're reading those, or what's the influence with reading bios?
I like knowing. So if I pick a bio, Louis Armstrong, I know what I know about him, but I need to go back and see how he got there. Because a lot of times what I think happened to him didn't happen at all. Or I'll be like, well, how in the world did he make it to this point if he went through all of this? And I had no idea. So I like kind of knowing the end point already, but getting the information before.
That's dope. That's dope. Same for me when I'm looking for that information. It kind of gives you a true insight into a person's life, and you're like, you can glean from that. So that's what I love about that as well.
Yes, sir.
When he brought up the movie and the book piece, y'all already know. Y'all out there in the audience, y'all probably already had this idea too. When he said the book and the movie, the first book I read and looked at the movie was no, I had two. The first one was Cornbread Earl and Me.
Not Cornbread Earl and Me.
Earl and Me.
That's a true hood classic right there.
I read the book and I checked out the movie and I noticed there was some differences. So, that was early in my childhood. But then I looked at Color Purple, the classic Color Purple, the Color Purple. And then I read the book. And I think when I read the book, I was kind of disappointed because I was like, certain stuff in the book that was not in the movie, and it was not to the extent it was. So that's what gave me a new value for reading as well, because the book was way more detailed and way more like you had to use your imagination more. So it was more interesting than the actual movie was. So again, like when I think about that, like those type of things push me to read, because I can't lie to you, I still got Cornbread Earl and Me on the shelf over here. Like that's that's part of my fabric. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we had a Color Purple over here too. Dear God.
Man, look, I still ain't watched the movie Color Purple. Y'all don't be mad at me. I ain't watched it. I read the book. None of that. So
what?
I don't know. Now, you talked Langston Hughes earlier. Now, Langston Hughes, I'm digging because he was one of the first Black pastors to ever, to an all-white church, so to speak. And of course, him becoming a lawyer and things of that nature. Like, I'm very intrigued by his story. What intrigued you about Langston Hughes, considering that that's one of the books that you may have read?
I just kind of see myself in him. So it's like, I don't know, to be able to read a poet and feel like you're connected, even though you never met the person, you never will meet the person, they lived on a, completely different era, different side of the world and all of that, but you still feel connected. That's what it is with Langston.
Same for me. You kind of felt like, you know what? This is pretty dope. You're hearing about a brother who's in these dire circumstances, and not to compare it to yours, but there's some similarities there. So you kind of glean from it. You know what I mean? It allows you to spend time in the reading because you can relate to it a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Okay. So the next thing I had that I want to talk to you about, and this is one that's funny to me, is writer's block. Like
writer's block.
Like,
man,
is
now, we had an author on that told us she has never gotten writer's block.
Talk to us about writer's block.
No, I believe that because I don't really get writer's block either.
Okay.
So whenever I'm writing anything, it'll work like this. I'm writing fiction because I don't just do the children's books. So if I'm writing a novel or something, everything is already in my head. Like, I already know how it starts, what I want the characters to go through, how it ends. That's already in my head.
Right.
I already hear the conversations and all of that. So if there happens to be a point where I get stuck, it's not really writer's block. What's happening in my mind is the characters, they're taking a break. They're silent because I need to listen to a character from another book.
That's a good way to see it. Say that again. The character, You look at it as a character taking a break
from their conversation.
Okay.
And I need to listen to another character from another book. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's good. I haven't heard that one before, but that's great info right there. It's like the character is silent. So you from that point you focus on another character.
Yeah.
And take that character and add that character into the book or into the poetry or whatever it may be you're writing.
Yeah, because what I really like to do is I like writing dialogue, right? So in my stories, all of the characters are like real people.
Okay.
And so everything that happens, I see, okay, this person did this in the story. And in my mind, there's a backstory, even if it's not written in the book, but their backstory made them do, action A, action B. And if they're silent, whether it be another character in the same book or a character from a completely different book that I haven't even started, I hear them talking.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's how it is with me.
Wait a minute. So, see, this is why people laugh when I say this all the time, but I equate this to everybody has a superpower. Kind of like what y'all earlier, like you have something that God blessed you with that's belonged to you, and you have to utilize that. See, that's a superpower.
Yeah.
That man said he hearing conversations and stuff, and he's not crazy, people. Like you hear these things, like everybody can't do that. That's just like when you hear somebody like a Jay-Z say he hears the song in his head. So when he's going through, he's mumbling to the beat, and then next thing you know, he walks in the booth and knocks out a song without writing anything in less than 10 minutes. And it's like, what just happened?
Right.
But everybody can't do that. That's a special gift. That's a superpower.
True story.
Now that's imagination at play right there, right?
It is. But I always kind of say like how it is I like to think of myself as kind of a moderator between people that nobody else can see.
Okay.
It's not really. It's different than when how you say people have multiple personalities. It's not like that. It's like I literally, when I'm writing a book, it feels like I have met every character that I'm writing about. They have told me their stories. Here's what I did. Here's how I met this person. We said this. And so all I'm doing is writing down what was told to me.
That's a superpower, brother.
Which one? Batman, Superman, Spider-Man?
There's no other way around it. That's a superpower. Like most people don't have the ability to do that. So
I appreciate it.
That's big, bro. That's definitely a God-given talent. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Now you said it earlier because you're operating in your gift. So can you feel the difference when you're operating in your gift and when you're not being seasoned now? You've wrote books, you did this. Can you feel the difference? Because I'm sure when you're in your gift, you can ride the wave, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you're in your gift, just like Ken was saying, like you can do stuff that other people can't do.
Right.
I know that I have children's books that I've written in an hour, and it only took an hour because I was doing other stuff at the same time, but it really could have been a few minutes, writing a whole other book.
Right.
So yeah, it's kind of amazing what we all can do when you operate in your gift, but I wouldn't say it's anything that I ever thought I could do. I mean, my goal when I first started trying to put out books was, hey, if I can put out one book, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm at 12 now.
Okay, because you in the beginning, would you say? I'm asking this because I think I've been guilty of this, where in the beginning you set the bar low.
Oh yeah, because you know what y'all were talking about before. If you haven't seen anybody do it, then you question yourself, like, what makes me think I can do it?
Right.
I don't know any writers.
Right.
Now I'll take that back. Growing up, my dad wrote, but he never put out any books or anything.
Right.
So I didn't know anybody that was close enough to me that put out any books. So I'm like, okay, who am I to think that I can do it?
Right.
Wait. So your dad wrote, and your dad was really good at writing, right?
Yeah.
So your dad had a superpower. So your dad had the superpowers, and he just passed them down. See, we see this in comic books all the time, y'all.
Yeah.
Real.
Like you're familiar with this story.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he absolutely. My dad, man. Rest in peace. My dad was one of the dopest writers. I wish the world could have read what he did, but yeah, my dad was writer, painter, like he did everything.
Do it all.
Musician. So yeah.
Jack of all trades. That's dope.
Yeah, so you picked up a lot of that. You picked up a lot of that. So you know what I'm saying? The world might not be able to hear from him directly, but it's hearing it, through you. So that's the gift that was passed on. So yeah, again, the man got superpowers, y'all. Go ahead.
Putting it together.
Yeah.
Do you ever find yourself putting your dad in any of your writings, or do you just leave it at the I'm operating kind of like him, so to speak? That's my pops. So do you ever narrate or put anything in that from dad in your writings?
I'll put characteristics of people I know in pretty much everything that I write. But when I'm doing poetry, because that is when I'm the most vulnerable, I'll put my relationships with everybody in there. But on that right quick, part of why I even release poetry books is because a lot of times in Black community, we don't like to talk about what's going on. We also feel like we have to be so strong, we have to pretend that nothing bothers us.
Right.
So a long time ago, I said, well, if I have to be the person that's literally going to be an open book and put myself out there to let everybody else know they're not alone in whatever they're dealing with, then I'll be that person.
That's dope. That's dope. I like that. And that's what they say in writing. That's what writers, they open up the world, which kind of brings my thought process into dealing when you're writing with that imagination. I'm sure that sparks an imagination with kids because you're dealing with them, and it creates a whole nother world because we know how kids think.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't shut them down, they think they can do anything.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Kids want to be dinosaurs. Kids want to be, whatever. But yeah, yeah, let their imagination go, because when we get to being adults, we will have enough people telling us what we can't do. So when they're kids, let them be kids. If they say they don't want to be a pilot, but they want to be a plane, let them be a plane.
Let them be a plane. Right.
They just want to be fly when it's all said and done. That's the reason why they're doing it. So just let them do whatever it is they're trying to do. Don't limit them. No cap on what they're doing.
Bars. Yeah, hold on.
He might as well go hit a freestyle. King, you got the beat. You said
they just want to be fly when they, you know what I'm saying? Y'all didn't catch all that. I'm listening. I'm hearing the bars.
Spit.
But you know what? When you were talking about writing, somebody else just left a comment. Kim Keaton, she said that she used to write poetry to get over relationships, and I was going to mention that when you were saying you were writing is a form of therapy for a lot of people.
Right.
So is this something that's therapeutic for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, I'll be transparent. We talking, we being real. So there were times where I was going through so much stuff that I felt suicidal. I was like, hey, there's no point of me being here anymore. No point. So I was ready to end it all, right? But because of people in my circle praying for me, literally praying with me while I was on the phone, got me out of certain situations. So I have to write about that.
Right.
Because somewhere out there, there's another person that's dealing with exactly what I was dealing with, feeling like they are by themselves, but they don't have that friend that I did that's willing to pray for them, until everybody starts crying and you're like, nah, I can make it out of this.
Right.
They don't have that. So I'll put the words down on the page, and like I said, I'll be that.
There's a favorite line that I use in one of Scarface's albums, in the Diary album. He says, "I can't talk to my mother, so I talk to my diary." And that line always sticks with me. Would you say it's similar in that, like, writing becomes like the love, the person you can talk to, you get what I'm saying? Not saying you alienate people, but when you're in your own world, when you can get down and write down something, is that love relationship with the writing, is that similar?
Yeah, absolutely. Because at first I was a lot more quiet than I am now. And so I didn't really talk to anybody. My talking was whatever I wrote down on the page. And my responses would come from what I wrote. So I would have to go back and forth and be like, okay, past version of Jacob said this. Present Jacob feels this way. How is this going to affect me in the future? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope, because I love to write myself. I don't put it out there like that, but I love to write, and I always write in secret. And sometimes when I go back, those words, I thought them at the moment, but I didn't realize how impactful they were until I went back and looked and was like, I actually wrote that, or I was thinking that way. And it actually kind of pulls you out of some situations if you feel in the type of way that you can draw. It's almost like God writing on the paper to you, and then you go back and visit it, and it's like he talks to you through your own words. Of course, we know he's the ultimate pen writer.
Yeah, so that's exactly what it is, though. And there's actually a poem in one of my books where I talk about that, where I was basically describing what it is that I do, as a writer. And then the person in the poem was kind of laughing at me, but then basically finding out that what I do is take notes for God.
That's dope. A scribe.
Yeah.
That's what a scribe is called. That's what a scribe is called. He's the note taker. They wouldn't go around and talk much, but they would walk around and they would take notes. They would just write, and they documented from their perspective what they saw, what they felt, what they believed, all of that, and they put it all into their writings. And so that's the idea I have with that. So
yeah, because when you were talking about how you would write stuff and then you would go back and look at it and you didn't realize how impactful your own words were, that's part of God taking over, using you as a vessel, making you write something that you'll see that you'll need for yourself later on. Yeah.
And it's dope to see it. And that brings to thought to also write the vision, make it plain. Sometimes you just need to see it. You can think it, you can even believe it. But when you write it down, it becomes a little bit more clearer to you because you're actually visualizing. Yeah. And with men, humans, sometimes we're more visual than anything. And so we see it and we're like, oh, okay, I understand it better. And that's the type of person I am. So
yeah, like they say, when you write it down, it hits different.
Facts.
Facts.
But we still need to get you to hit a freestyle over one of Ken's beats. I'm just saying.
Sir.
Okay. All right. Check this out. Up next, I wanted to ask you about the pandemic. The pandemic affected everybody differently, forced a lot of people to pivot. But with you being a writer, kind of being able to do your own thing, how did it affect you? And with the quiet time, were you able to get more done?
Yeah, I was able to get more done. Like it didn't really bother me at all. It just gave me more to write about.
Right.
That's really all it did. It didn't stop anything at all.
Right.
So you got a book coming out about the Pandemic Pete?
Nah, I actually have I have a poetry book, another poetry book that I'm trying to get out before the end of this year, called Isolated Thoughts. But it's about, the past few years. Okay.
So we'll be definitely on the lookout for that.
Isolated Thoughts.
Yeah.
I dig that.
With your book, with your books, and let me pull this picture up for y'all so y'all can see. You know what I'm saying? These are some of his works.
Sure.
And like I said again, we got a link in the link is in the comments to his websites. Y'all can go check out his works on the website and purchase something. These books are amazing. Y'all got kids, so y'all kids need something to read. great material. But can you talk to us about your works, your writings of Jacob, Grovey, and kind of tell us like what are some of your top sellers?
So right now, one of the biggest things out is called With Mom, and that book was actually co-written with my mother. And my mother wanted to put a story out about her and my grandmother, how they bonded through cooking. And so when she first told me about it, I was like, okay, Mom, I'm going to make you an author. And she didn't really believe it. So, I mean, we made it happen. And so that one is doing well. All of them are doing pretty well, but that one right now is one of the top selling.
Okay, so what would you say is the greatest takeaway from that book?
That's a good question. The greatest takeaway for me, or like overall,
Yeah, for you, what you feel like when you all wrote that, what did you all want people to gain from that or take away from that once they read it?
How important family is.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really it. You can have everything in the world, but if you don't have relationships with your family, it's completely different when a millionaire or a billionaire who's alone compared to somebody who's just making it with the love of their family.
Right.
That happiness is different when you have somebody who really cares about you. Yeah.
Right.
And that time that you get to spend with them, we really can't take it for granted. I'm guilty of taking time with loved ones for granted.
I think we all are too.
We really all need to work on that because stuff can be taken away from us. People can be taken away from us at any moment. So we really need to all do better. That's really what that story is talking about too.
You got a dope catalog. I see 12 books. What was it? 12 books there, right? Correct.
Yeah.
How many children's books? How many adult books? Kind of break them down for us.
I think I'm at it changes so much. I think I'm at eight picture books and 4 others. It may be different because I think on that picture I included books that are coming out later.
Okay.
So I'll probably be at 14 or more before the end of the year.
Okay.
But I have 2 poetry books right now, 2 novel 2 poetry books, 2 novels. It's constantly changing. That's why I'm
right. No, it's all good because I wanted to lead that one into what we kind of talked about. I kind of asked a little bit about the children's books, but engaging with the children, I'm sure is totally different than anything else. But overall, what makes that experience extra fun to kind of keep going with the children's books?
Man, I'll be honest with you. I'm one of those kids who grew up. You were talking about imagination a lot.
Right.
So I was one of the kids watching Ninja Turtles, and I could have sworn that like those were my homies. And
Leonardo, Donatello, those were the homies.
My friends, and we were gonna kick it. So imagination has always been a thing for me. So I really like interacting with them because, like you said before, they will literally come up with anything.
Right.
So that's fun to me, and it's fun to actually bounce ideas off of them. Hey, what do you think about this? Well, I like it if the kid could do this, then that would be the greatest thing ever. Okay, well, let's make it happen.
Right.
Yeah.
And when the kids are writing, do these kids actually write, or are you like writing the content for them at all? How does that whole process work? Like, is it you just writing totally, or are these kids actually writing some of these material?
No,
or they're just speaking it out?
A lot of times when I go into classrooms and I'm writing stories with them, I'm not writing the story for them.
Okay.
We are working together. I'm like, okay, what type of characters do you want? Who are these people? What do they do? Where do they live? I get all of the information from them because, a lot of them don't think they can write a story.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we put it all together as a group. And then, to hear a group of 20, 30 kids laughing at a story they all created together, man, that's one of the greatest feelings.
Wow. I can imagine that too, especially them being so innocent and so forth. Like I can imagine that. That's dope.
That's dope. And with a lot of your books, I saw it has pictures, it has drawings. So who does your illustrations?
So I actually like to try to find different illustrators for different projects.
Okay.
Because I want everybody to get shine. So, putting out different projects, if I can find somebody else to do a different project, unless it's a part of a series, then I kind of want the look to stay the same.
Consistency.
But, if not, then I go find somebody else. And I try my best to find Black illustrators because, again, if a Black kid sees a book written by somebody Black and it's illustrated by somebody Black, oh, yeah, I can do that too.
Yep.
That's dope.
It's attainable. Definitely. Yeah. So what's your favorite book you've written? If you could just pick one.
No, sir.
I should be in love with all his babies, probably, right?
Yeah, that's kind of like asking somebody to pick their favorite child, but we try it. We try it all.
Gotta ask the question just in case for the audience. They might go cop that. You know what I mean?
I can't do that. If anybody wants to cop anything, they should get everything. But no, I don't have them.
I like that. I like that. If you want to cop anything, you should cop everything. Take me out to dinner. Hey, man. I saw you hit it, kid.
Hey, that is definitely, you know what I'm saying, the constant answer that we get when we ask people about their works. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for people to pick one of their works, one of their pieces of work to say it's my favorite because they're all the babies. But hey, people, we try.
Right.
Definitely try.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know it's a different process than, writing a book, but have you ever thought about writing something for TV or a movie or anything like that? Have you ever played with those type of ideas?
Yeah. I've written screenplays.
Okay.
Actually have something that hopefully it will move forward. But yeah, I work on TV shows and movies. So yeah. Absolutely.
That's dope. Okay. We're looking forward to his. Looking forward to checking some stuff out. Yes, sir. Love to promote it on Instagram. Yes, sir.
I will definitely let you know if anything moves forward.
Yeah, holla at us, man.
Yeah.
But when you say movies and TV shows, like kind of give us a quick assessment of like what kind of movies and TV shows were you kind of looking at writing?
Comedies.
Just comedies? Okay.
Yeah. I love comedies, man. I love comedies.
Yeah, that's our favorite.
Yeah, that's our favorite. Yeah, Ken sent me a little video earlier, man. I was like, man, this video is hilarious. The little lady hit that quick.
Boom. I didn't send him nothing, y'all. I'll be sending crazy stuff to people.
It was hilarious. Okay, so you said comedy. Now you got to open up a whole nother atmosphere.
Okay.
Top 3 comedians all time. Top 3.
Oh.
Top 3. I ain't gonna even let you go top 5. I'm just gonna give you top 3. You can pick from any era in their prime. Don't matter. Give us your top 3 comedians.
That's a tough
one. Tough, bro.
That is tough.
That's a tough.
I ain't gonna let you off the hook though. Top 3.
Okay.
You're on a trip.
Okay.
And you get to see these 3 comedians.
Eddie Murphy. This is no order.
No order, just whatever. You on a trip, you on a road trip, it's just you, whoever you're rolling with, and you get to see these top 3 comedians in their prime. Don't matter what era, whenever.
Hey, put Cat Williams in there.
Okay, all right.
And this will throw you off a bit. Bob Newhart.
Wow.
Okay. Okay. Now, Eddie, people don't realize how long Eddie was in the game.
Yeah.
Eddie was popping since he was 19.
Yeah.
And he just finished his last, I think, movie or skit 2018, 2019. Yeah. He been popping for a long time. You mentioned my boy Cat.
Yeah.
I mean, one actually in my top 3. So you know what I'm saying? Super dope. But now, Bob Newhart.
Bob Newhart. I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, so Bob Newhart has a very dry sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
So if you haven't seen anything from Bob Newhart, even if you watch the show, the way that he is very slow and methodical. Like everything is thought out. And the Lucas brothers also are like Bob Newhart to me.
Right.
And so I like them a lot too. But yeah, Bob Newhart is just funny, man. It's like he's funny, and the way that he presented stuff, it was like, hey, I don't really care if you laugh or not, but this is what I think. And so hey, it's just dope to me. Bob Newhart is funny.
I dig it. I dig it. I'm not mad at it. We got some great ones out there, but you hit us with a good 3. That's a solid 3.
You only said 3. It's not like I can go name out, everybody.
I mean, I just want to give you the 3. That's the hard spot. I could have said your greatest all-time comedian and just left it at 1, but I figured 3 is harder. You get what I'm saying? That's a hard list.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my three is weird. I have Dave Chappelle.
Okay.
I have Patrice O'Neal.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. See, Patrice O'Neal throws people off because a lot of people don't understand who he is or what he brought to the comedy game until they start listening to other comics, and the other comics say that was their favorite. You know what I'm saying? That was one of their favorites. And I got some other favorites, but the first comedian that I ever heard and it changed everything about my life was Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
Like when I heard Richard Pryor on vinyl, I'm that old, people. Vinyl, like that changed everything for me. So I fell in love with comedy since then. So I get it. Like we have our eclectic list of things that we like, but for me, I know that outlier was Patrice O'Neal for my list. And so if y'all don't know who Patrice O'Neal is, it's a guy, it's not a girl. Go look him up, check him out.
Now,
Patrice is funny.
Robin Harris was hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, big facts.
And most people don't know this, but actually the style that Bernie Mac used is actually Robin Harris's style. Because, they're from Chicago boys. So, you know what I mean? But Eddie would definitely be, people can say whatever they want. I got Eddie at the top. I got Richard Pryor in there. And then I had to throw my boy, Cat Williams, in there. I just he can.
Let me ask you something. Let me ask both of y'all something. So if you take your top 3 and you were able to take them in their primes and give them a roast battle, who will come out on top? Who will win?
Ooh, I mean, I think people would be able to kill Cat because there's just too much material. He can hold his own, man. In a roast battle,
I think he'll hold his own, bro.
Yeah, like you give me a roast battle. That's the reason why I go with Cat Williams, is because he can hit you from every angle.
Yeah.
And because he's got so much material, you can come back on him, but he just it's off the top, it's witty, it's funny, like it's just all there. So but it's hard to go against my boy Eddie. It's hard. I'll take Cat. Okay. Cat Williams.
That's
Cat
true.
Williams.
For me, out of my 3, I'm definitely going Patrice O'Neal.
Okay.
Patrice O'Neal is a master of, talking crazy. So his comedy, he talks crazy, and a lot of his stuff it's not even written. It's just him. Right. So he was one of those guys, like we talked about earlier, that have superpowers. Some people are great at things because they worked at it and they've developed a formula of how to do things, so they're great at it that way. But some people are just natural and they're born with it.
Right.
So, and you can tell even when you're talking to them, when they're not on stage or when they're not working in that space, they're still funny because it's just them. Yeah. So that would be my pick for my 3.
Okay. All right.
I would like to see a battle between Patrice O'Neal and Robin Harris.
That'd be fun.
Robin Harris, listen, I ain't putting nobody business up, but Robin Harris was crazy.
Hey, you know what? we talking about that battle. It could be going on in heaven right now because they both up there.
Right.
Right. It's not a crash joke, people. We talking about dead people, but it's comedy. So in comedy, nothing's off limits.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say something else, but no.
Stop it. Okay.
Had to catch myself. Time out.
All right, so let's talk about this for a minute before we wrap up. Global Genius Society.
Yeah.
Like it's on your shirt. I seen it on your website. Like, talk to us a little bit about Global Genius Society and how does that tie into everything that you have going on? Because I see that on a few things that you have.
All right, so Global Genius Society is what I call the meeting place of the brilliant. So everything that we do as creatives, whether it be writing, photography, dance, acting, anything creative, if you're able to operate in what you do, and you're able to create, you're a genius in my eyes. So Global Genius Society is set up so that everybody has a place that we can showcase what it is that you do. I'm just trying to put it out there. If you're an indie filmmaker and you have what you feel is the greatest film that the world needs to know about, a Global Genius Society, we can put it up there. If you're a rapper, if you're a dancer, whatever the case may be, if you're a genius, I mean, that's the place for you to showcase your work.
Put it on.
So that's your space, and you operate that. You operate that page.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dig that. Got to connect with that.
I put the link. I put the link for that in the comments as well, people, so y'all can go click on that and learn a little bit more about that. There's some great content on that page as well. I read through most of it. So yeah, please go check that out as well. And along with jacobgrovey.com, the links are all in the comments. Yeah. So check them out after the show. The next question I kind of had up, y'all know I be in people business and I deep dive on social media and on their pages. I see you posting Kicking It ATX.
Yeah.
So how does that correlate to anything? What does that have to do with you? Because I see you share it a lot. I see you post about it. So how does that tie into anything you got going on?
Oh man, I cross promote. That's my brother's store.
Okay.
And so hey, if it's with the family, I'm sharing it like it's mine.
Okay.
So,
okay.
I dig that.
My brother has always had a dream of having his shoe store. And in 2018 he was able to get that open. So yeah, that's what Kicking It ATX is.
Okay, so he got a sneaker shop basically. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we might need to
y'all need to come on out.
Yes,
well, we check that out.
Send him to us, and we can
connect with me on the IG as well, so we can get it. You like to cross promote? We need to promote all of that. You get what I'm saying? We need to put ads up. We need to do that. That's what we do. You get what I'm saying? Not this podcast, but we marketing people, our folks too. So
and everybody knows me. They know I love sneakers. So
right.
Hey, I'll tell you this. One of the things that separates it from any other place, it is the first sneaker store with a bar.
Oh. See?
Wow, yeah, we definitely got it. So that's
wine and cognac and beer and see. Yeah. My type of place to hang out.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, next time I'm in Austin, Texas, I definitely got to swing by there to see what's going on. But yeah, have your brother hit us up, man. We can get him on the show. We can talk sneakers, man. Because I definitely want to talk sneakers. People who know me, I'm all day long.
I'm trying to lean back. I still got 5. Yeah, 5 bags of shoes. I ain't even look, man. Anybody with a shoe fetish, like, man, listen. I think I need to stop, but I don't know how to stop because you go and you see another pair of shoes.
You don't need to stop.
I don't understand it, man. I don't know. Shoes I only wear like once or twice, and I don't know, man. It's a struggle.
But see, you got a luxury I don't have. You know what I'm saying? You got a luxury I don't have because what size shoe you wear, Benji?
See, I wear a 9.
See, that's I
know. It's okay, man. Listen, you can't be blessed with everything. You can't be taller than me. You get what I'm saying? And then me be shorter than you. And then, you know what I'm saying? I gotta get some wind in somewhere. You get what I'm saying? I can't even grow a full beard, bro. Come on. Let me have a 9-inch. Let me have a 9 feet. Let me have a 9 shoes.
Jacob got the full beard over there.
You know what I'm saying? He got the full beard on him. You know what I'm saying? I'm look here, man. Even through the pandemic, I tried to grow this. It didn't. No. Let me get my shoes for 9. You know, my 9s. You know what I'm saying? I can walk in any store. What was that?
I said, go and get that Velcro strap beard.
No, I don't want to look like Rick Ross. That joint look fake in the morning.
Okay. So I want to wrap it up and just ask Jacob, you know, before we get up out of here, I need some help. I'm trying to write my own book.
Okay.
Came up with an idea. It's called 50 Shades of Grey, the sneaker edition, right? So I'm gonna do 50 Shades of Grey, but the sneaker edition, not the freaker edition, the sneaker edition. So Jacob's gonna work with me on that, y'all, and we're gonna hit y'all with something special with that. Y'all already know I'm crazy. You know it's just jokes, but you know what I'm saying, I be coming with some dope ideas. We might actually do that.
Yeah, you should do that.
Yeah. He slipped up on the last one. He told what was it, the sock thing, the invention. See, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, y'all. Caveat: I know this don't have nothing to do with this interview, y'all. Nothing to do with this episode. But there is an invention that somebody made some footies for people having sex. You know, as grown folks, you know,
you can grip the floor.
By this time in your life, you done had some sex before where you had on some socks or something, and you kind of lose your grip a little bit on the ground. You kind of slide. Well, these socks had some grip on the bottom. So the first iteration I saw was when we went to Altitude, the bounce place. They have some socks with a little grip, but the grip I wanted to have on the shoes was a little bit different, right? So I was slipping. I laughed at the idea. It was funny. Let it go. Then next thing you know, probably about 6 months ago, we see advertisements on Facebook for the slippers. Somebody has done them and selling them.
Could be $1 million business. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Just got to operate in your gifts. And see, God gave me that idea, and I didn't follow up. So now somebody else is making that bread.
Yeah.
50 Shades of Grey, the sneaker edition.
Let's get it going.
I'm gonna stick to shirts and wine and marketing and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I let Ken come up with the ideas. You know what I'm saying? He keep that. He can come up with the ideas. But the sock thing is dope though, especially if you own some tile. Just saying.
Y'all already know I'm a mama's boy. My mama always tunes in, and she always hears the wildest stuff. So when I was just talking about the wild stuff, this is the comment that she puts. I'm gonna show this. I'm gonna show this right quick. Mom said, "All right,
don't kill him, mama. Don't kill him. Don't kill him."
She know who she gave birth to. I've been on the earth almost 42 years, so she already know how it goes down.
Right.
But let's get back to the interview. Let's wrap it up. Are you working on any other projects, anything else big that you want to talk to us about before we wrap up?
Yeah. The next novel coming out is called Perspectives of Violence. And I really do want everybody to check this out. What it is a collection of 8 short stories. And what kind of separates it is every tale that deals with violence, gun violence, you will hear either the story from the point of view of the victim, the shooter, or maybe somebody who witnessed it, something like that, right? Mm. But Perspectives of Violence tells these 8 short stories from the point of view of the gun.
Whew. Okay.
And so when it comes to these stories, the gun doesn't care about you. It doesn't care about your family. It doesn't care about, trying to make you look good. All it cares about is it has a job to do. So right. How do we get from the point of me meeting you to me getting my job done?
Whew. That's dope. I like that.
That's fine.
And what's the name of that book again?
Perspectives of Violence.
For sure. Y'all go peep that out. Need to get that.
Yeah, well, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming up.
That should be out It's March. I would say maybe around May or June that one should be out.
All right, sure.
Okay. Just in time for the summer, and y'all know what the summer brings. Summer bring that heat out. Literally, people coming with heat. So
the real heat.
yeah, so that's perfect timing for that. So yeah, we definitely be on the lookout for that. And like I told y'all throughout the show, the links are in the comments, so y'all can go to his website. Go ahead and put a little star by that on your Chrome. So make sure you save that and you bookmark it so you can visit his works every so often, so you can get caught up and make sure you're buying all the books and picking up all the collection. And we also like to give our guests an opportunity to say something, inspirational, something motivational at the end of the show. Leave the guests with something. We already know you're a motivational speaker, so we know we know you got something good to tell the people.
Yeah, I really just want to pick back up on what I said earlier. Don't disrespect God by not operating in your gift. Don't let fear stop you from doing what you know you're supposed to be doing in life. And that's really it. That's really it.
That's dope.
That's facts. Y'all, we've had a great interview with Mr. Jacob Grovey. Jacob, we appreciate you coming on, bro. If you could wait backstage for us, we're going to wrap up and we're going to chop it up a little bit after the show. So we appreciate you, my brother. And
yes,
y'all go to the website, buy some stuff. Don't just be out there looking, window shopping. We know some of y'all getting that tax money in pretty shortly. So, so you can afford that. So go ahead and make the purchases out here. Jacob, we appreciate you, my brother.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No doubt.
Yes, sir.
All right. So that was a dope interview. He said a lot of stuff. But the main thing is, for me, one thing, the man got superpowers, y'all.
Right.
You hear of people, like I use the example of Jay-Z, who they say goes in an interview and does this, this little mumbling. He hear the beat. Next thing you know, he goes out and bangs out a song. Not everybody can do that, right? He hears these voices and he already sees the story in his head, and he goes and knocks out this work in short amounts of time. Y'all, that's a talent. That's something that, everybody isn't blessed with, superpower. So, man, shout out to him.
The second author we've had on that said that they don't get writer's block.
Yeah, man.
So we're giving y'all great people. We're giving y'all great people who can put those books together. And remember, they can write for you as well. So if you thinking of putting your book together, hit them up.
Yeah, so y'all can't say y'all don't know any black writers or y'all don't have access to people like that, because we just introduced you all to 2 this season. So I'll let them visit their website and glean that information from them, because they got it. We don't. We just here to clown. We just here to bring y'all information.
We're gonna bring you good information though. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna clown around a little bit, but we're gonna bring you some solid guests. We're gonna bring you some solid stuff. We're gonna give you some good material.
Okay, Benji, what you gotta tell the people before we get up out of here? Let the people know how to get in contact and where to find you and what you into, man.
BRB4701 is my IG page. If you're interested in having your business, anything marketed, hit me up. Link is in the bio on my Facebook page, Benji Banks. Be on the lookout for the website. It's coming. We about to be your one-stop shop where you won't have to go all over the globe looking for us. You'll be able to hit the website and find absolutely everything you could need. You get what I'm saying? From marketing, podcasts, food, you name it. And we're coming for everything that belongs to us. So be on the lookout. Link is in the bio. Go get your drink. Have a good one. Shout
All right, y'all already know Benji is the one-man band. He's the man, the brand. So he always got something he got going on. So y'all make sure y'all go to his page, check him out. Y'all already know y'all can follow me at Big Ken's Comedy on IG, Big Ken's Comedy on Twitter, Big Ken's Comedy on Facebook, the Fire Session Podcast on Facebook, on IG, on Twitter, on YouTube. Y'all make sure y'all go to the YouTube channel, like and subscribe so y'all can keep getting these videos. So wherever you at, because some of you all don't have a Facebook or look at it on other means. So you know what I'm saying? YouTube is always available. So when Facebook kicks you off and you get banned from Facebook, you can go check out shows, because some of y'all are getting banned from Facebook, and I get it.
On a weekly basis, the homies getting locked up.
Yeah, so I mean, it's real out here in the streets. You know what I'm saying?
These Facebook streets.
Y'all. But again, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Next week, we got another dope episode coming. So y'all make sure y'all check us out. Y'all stay tuned to the page for any changes, any updates, and y'all share, like, and subscribe to all our stuff because we're trying to grow and we appreciate your support. But at the end of the day, y'all already know what it is. It's the Fiyah session. You see it.
Holla.
Your hands. Peace.
Follow us on all social media platforms. Just search Fiyah Session Podcast.